Hey guys, and welcome back to the Bird's Nest Schoolhouse. It's been a little while since I've been on here, and there's a couple reasons for that, and I will get into that in a minute. But I wanted to come on and give you a little update of how our summer is going, as well as some changes that we are making for the upcoming school year and for our schedule. So let's get started. So first of all, a couple weeks ago, I had to make a last minute trip up to Georgia for some family matters. So I have not been here on island for the last couple weeks, but I'm back now. But it definitely threw a wrench in the works, and it made me really look at and examine um, our schedule for the upcoming school year. But before I get into that, I wanted to kind of talk about before I left and where I was. When I started this channel, I did talk about that I was going to be keeping it real and honest. And so I wanted to kind of talk about where I was with everything, jumping into nature study and homeschooling, and kind of my kids had gone to private school. So jumping into having the kids full time and that change, things like that. So a couple of, I don't know if I want to call them mistakes that I made, but a couple of lessons that I learned very fast on this homeschooling journey. And the biggest one is that I overplanned our summer way too much. Like I said, my kids have gone to private school, and in the summer they do a summer program, or in the past we've gone up to the States. So while it's having my kids full time was not like something new to me, because like I said, we've gone up to the States in the summer. Yes, Missy. Okay, we've gone up to the States in the summer, so we've gotten plenty of stuff planned, but we've been around family, and you know there's just so much to do up in the States, like libraries and kids programs and museums and playgrounds, so many playgrounds, that we were always doing things, but it wasn't necessarily planned. Um, but being here for the summer, for the first time, I planned our summer to the max. We had our nature study, and we had our school days, our summer school mornings, I should say. Um, So I had those planned for 3 days a week for a couple hours. And then we did field trips a couple times a week. And then I had us signed up for volunteering um, 1 day a week. And then we also had our extracurriculars. So the kids are signed up for music, the kids are signed up for swim lessons, the kids were signed up for art class. Moral of the story, I had us signed up for way too much, and I learned quite quickly that I crashed and burned quite quickly. Um, with all of that stuff going on top of that, I had a list a mile long of prep that I needed to get done before we started our school year, and um, we're moving this summer. So we are actually at our new house. We have been building a hurricane house for the past 5 years, and we're finally getting into it. So there's just a lot going on, and packing all that stuff in with the kids. The kids were worn out, the kids were tired, I was exhausted, and I crashed and burned. And um, I was ready for a break, and we had only done a couple weeks of schooling, or of summer schooling, and I learned very quickly that not to be so scared of downtime, that downtime is absolutely okay, and I was ready for a break. But you have to be careful what you wish for, because I got a break. Um, and that is, I had to take a very last minute trip up to Georgia for family. I left my kids here, and so that kind of turned our whole summer on its head. But again, I'll get into that later. So the other lesson that I learned, or mistake number two, is I was unprepared for the amount of snacks that my kids would require. It's one thing when you send them to school and you pack their lunch in the morning, you make their breakfast, you pack their lunch, you send 2 snacks for the day, and then you feed them dinner when they come home, you know? And you have a snack in the car for when you pick them up. This is, we so many snacks. They eat breakfast and they want a snack. They have another snack and then they want lunch and then they want a snack and then they want a snack after their snack and then they want a dinner and then they want another snack. I was not prepared for the amount of meal planning and meal prep and snack planning and snack prep and things like that to have on hand at all times. And I am like, among my friends, if anybody's going to have a go bag with snacks and be over prepared with snacks, it's me. I have been humbled by the amount of snacks my kids need. So those are the two biggest things is I overplanned and I apparently underfed. So where we were with our curriculums before I left for the break was we were mainly doing the nature study and we were loving that and we were having so much fun. I did end up condensing it into pretty much one big day of learning, and it's not like we did hours of work. You know, I did a 10-15 minute lesson on the main subject of the week, and then we did our workbooks after the field trips. So when I left, we had finished forests and we really loved that. We did not get to do the nature notebook painting, but we moving forward, depending on the changes that I have to make, we will continue our nature study, but it will probably be condensed into a 1 day a week thing, and finish that once we actually start our homeschooling year. Just put it on a Friday and learn about the part of the island and finish it that way and not do it so drawn out throughout the week. Then the other thing that we did is the planners. My kids have really loved this. We actually did the second part today. Here is their June. They just drew like a little picture. I can't tell you what these pictures are. They can tell you what these pictures are because they know, but this is June, and then they go through and they write all the numbers they look at the calendar and they write the numbers on the days that they're supposed to be. And then if they want, they can go pick up their planner and color a little picture about something that they did. This day we made a volcano and we erupted a volcano. So I do know that one. And then we just did July, so it's empty. I just came back from my trip, so we have not had a chance to update that. But this is something that I knew they were going to enjoy it, but here's my son's little calendar. That has been a hit this summer, and we will continue to do that as the summer goes on. And then the other thing that we started was the Get Ready for the Code and Explode the Code. Originally, I was going to wait to do these once we got into our homeschool, but I don't remember why we picked them up one day, but the kids picked them up and they wanted to know how to do them, and they have been a big hit. They go and get these on their own. And I'm going to do a flip through on these in a later video, but the colors have definitely been a hit with my daughter. And we have these little clips here because we do our work outside. We do it right out here on the porch. So the wind blows, so we have these clips. And then we are doing for my son, we are doing Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. We have definitely gotten a little bit lazy this summer. I expected to be done with the book by now, but we are on lesson 72. It is still a hit in this household, but he does I think this is like the perfect level for him. He has enjoyed doing this workbook. When I came back, they were very excited to get these notebooks out, or these workbooks out. So I think that's a success. And I do have to sit there with them while they're doing it because they want to know what the instructions are. But for the most part, that's pretty independent. So that was everything. That's where we were before break, which was doing our workbooks, doing the nature study. We did stop volunteering because it was just too much. And we are no longer doing the art class. Maybe in the fall we will find another art class to do, but for right now, we're just taking it down a notch and sticking with swimming. And we have dance class now, and we are still doing our field trips. But all of that may change, which I will get into in my next video, which will be the changes for our curriculum and our plan for our homeschool year. So yes, it has been a lot. I am definitely a planner, and everything got flipped on its head, which is okay. We just go with the flow around here, but definitely has me reevaluating some things. So please stay tuned for my next video where I will talk about that further. And thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.